you talked about in the beginning about how I sort of put these guests on pedestals, and definitely even the setup of the of this podcast of like, I admire you, I'm intimidated by you, somewhat sets up this, that I'm at lower status. And slowly through these conversations, I realized maybe I still felt like lower than them, but I'm not as much lower as I thought I was.
Shut up.
Welcome to Liquid Courage, the podcast where I, Amanda Pereira, sit down with a fellow female artist that I admire and ask them the questions I've never had the guts to ask them before. Sounds scary? Well, it is. So I use a little liquid courage in the form of their favorite drink. We cheers, chat, and connect as I attempt to soak up all the wisdom these women have to offer. Today I sit down with Dustin George and drink some bubbly champagne in a special bonus episode. Dustin is a comedian and creator based out of Toronto, Canada, and also a very good friend of mine. In anticipation of this first season ending, Dustin reached out to me and asked if we could do a little bonus episode together, where he interviewed me about what it was like to create season 1 and put it out into the world. I was so flattered and touched that a friend saw how important this project was to me and wanted to honor that. And then, of course, my self-doubt crept in. Like, who would want to listen to me talk about my own project? It felt so self-indulgent. But then I took a step back and wondered, why does it feel so foreign and wrong to praise myself? I poured a ton of time, effort, and care into creating this, and I'm proud of it. So fuck it. I want to celebrate the success that is this first season, and that's exactly what Dustin and I do here in this bonus episode. He asks me wonderfully thoughtful questions, and we reflect back on season 1. Okay, so I gave Dustin full control over this episode, which was very hard for my Monica Geller A-type brain to do. And he told me he had a special way that he wanted to start off the episode. So here we go. A conversation looking back on the 30 episodes that make up season 1 of the Liquid Courage podcast.
Welcome to Liquid Courage, the podcast where she, Amanda Pereira, sits down with a fellow female artist that she admires and asks them the questions she's never had the guts to ask them before. Sounds scary? Well, it is. So she uses a little liquid courage from her guest's favorite drinks. They cheers, chat, and connect as she attempts to soak up the wisdom these women have to offer. Today, I sit down with Amanda Pereira and enjoy some bubbly. Amanda is a creator superstar. Improv, acting, singing, writing, casting, producing, podcasting, script supervising, she can do it all. She's been part of the hit musical Wheels, a song cycle. She's co-written, produced, starred in a series Beck and Call, and of course is the creator, host, editor, marketing person of Liquid Courage. I've known Amanda for many years, and she never ceases to amaze me. So Amanda is an actor, creator, comedian, podcaster, my best friend, and someone I admire immensely.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry. Like that was so thoughtful of you to, oh my God, I'm dying. Okay, yes, okay, so this is totally this is your ship. This is your plane.
Yeah, you're already taking over.
Whatever it is. I know, I'm so sorry, Magic. Okay, but I did have like a little surprise for you. So can you close your eyes?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you when to open. Keep them closed. So each episode I try and like whatever I'm wearing, I'm like inspired by my guest, but I don't have a guest today because I'm your guest.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing you on my... Which I guess I should say for listeners, Dustin, as a gift, got me a blanket for my dog with pictures of my dog's face all over it. And then got me a crop top with his face all over it. That's so cute. Okay, anyway, that was my surprise. That this is what I'm going to wear for our episode.
That's a great surprise. Thank you.
That's all. Dee, I'm nervous. I'm so scared.
First of all, we should just do this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so much bigger than
I know. No, but it's because this was gold. It was cute and it was little gold. I have more. Don't worry.
I feel like I usually open your bottles of sparkling for you.
Yeah, because I get scared.
Yeah.
I do. But I learned a trick. Emma Carter, former guest, taught me a trick that when you're opening champagne, you twist it down and not up.
Oh, that's smart. Also, I think that's an easy open cap.
Oh, what does that mean?
I think it's like a twist top more.
Okay. Oh, okay. Are we going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Ah! Oh my God. Is mine's just twisted. Mine didn't even pop. Oh my God. I was so scared. Okay.
So I want to say, I'm drinking this little cup. So we'll pour.
Okay.
Ooh, the bubbles sound nice. That's a nice AMSR.
Oh, yeah, I should gay. I should gay. I can't even talk. I should gay in front of here. I'm sorry. Is the whole bottle almost just like a glass? I'll
Yeah.
get more. I will get more. I have more in the fridge.
Okay.
I have more stuff. Okay. That's cute.
So cheers
Oh.
to 30 episodes, 30 interviews. I calculated, I think it was like 49 hours and like 41 minutes, but it's like 50 hours of edited content.
Oh my God.
That's just podcasts, not including videos. And to one fucking amazing podcast. So cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Dee. Oh my God.
Oh no, here's my lights on.
Oh, this is good.
Um,
Do you sometimes drink champagne and it feels like you're just drinking bubbles? Like there's no liquid?
sometimes. Depends on like, I like a flavor, but I don't like it sweet.
Right. Yes. Dee, I'm so nervous. I'm
Okay.
so nervous. Should
So
we
I
say
wanna-
who you are? Like what should
No,
we
it
do?
doesn't matter.
That and this is your thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
relinquish control.
Thank you. So I need to admit something to you, which is a segment, should be a segment on your show, because every show you go, I need to admit something to you.
Oh, fuck yeah. Totally.
So this is my I need to admit something to you segment.
Okay. Oh, I'm so excited.
I was actually very nervous going to do this, because one, you make every guest seem so comfortable, and you curate such thoughtful, considerate questions
Oh.
that I think I'm pretty sure every guest, I want to go back and check, every guest said, that's a great question.
Oh.
Like literally, like and I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to do that for you, because I wanted you to feel as special as how you made your guests feel.
Dee, that's
And
so nice.
And I can, before I ask questions, because I want to make this about you, but I'm going to make it about me for a few
Okay,
minutes.
make it about you. I love it. I'm more comfortable with it being about you, to be honest.
So I had this idea. So I was listening to the first few episodes.
Mm.
Well, actually, the order I listened to these episodes was like, did they maybe mention me in them? No. And then people I knew, and then everyone else.
So wait, you listen to people who you're like, oh, I'm friends with them. Like maybe
I
they
wonder if they're going
mentioned
to talk
me.
about me.
Well, I tagged, if people were mentioned in the episodes, I started tagging them in the
Oh.
Instagram posts. You're tagged in a couple of them when you came up. Yeah, just saying. Okay.
But yeah, so I started listening, and I was kind of getting angry. Well, because you're raising all these women up on like a pedestal, which they deserve, like 100%. These guests were insanely amazing, but sometimes you shit on yourself a bit, and like just like you kind of to raise them up, you kind of brought yourself down, and most of them like called you on it. Like I know like Ashley called you, and some of the people are like no. But at the beginning, I was like, and actually Ashley Cohen said it perfectly. She was like, don't say that to my best friend.
Yeah.
And I would think that all the time. I'm like, no, she's honoring these amazing women, which is 100% true, but like you deserve that just as much as they do.
I'm gonna cry.
Because obviously I've been a big fan of yours for life.
Huge. We're not even friends.
We're not even friends.
No.
Just a big fan. So that's why I wanted to do this, to honor you and give the listeners a chance to celebrate your successes and what makes you amazing.
Oh
So that's kind of
God.
what I'm doing for this podcast. Is kind of like a celebration of you and this journey, because I think you deserve that.
Oh my God. Can I say that makes me feel like, oh, my heart is like so big, like the Grinch when it got really big. I don't know, that's a good comparison. That makes me feel like so cared about and also so nervous. I wonder if this is how my guests feel. Like my hands are so sweaty because I'm thinking like, oh, I don't know. I'm okay,
Right.
but yeah.
For some of your merch, you should sell hand towels
Or like gloves, that like absorbent gloves. Oh
that
my
look like
God.
hands.
That just look like hand. Well, yeah, because they're gloves.
Yeah, but they're like skin texture.
Oh my God. Like they're on the outside, they're like silicone or something. Is that gross? But on the inside, they're towels.
Yeah, or they
Yeah.
could just be skin color.
Yeah. Right.
Like with
Right.
nails.
Nails that you can paint. Oh
And
my
then
God. That's
the inside's
amazing.
just like padded, so it's never sweaty.
It's never sweaty. Yeah. I need that so bad. I'm so nervous because like, yeah, I was, when you posed this idea to me about sort of like, let's do a bonus episode, like a reflection on the season or just you chatting with me. I was so scared because I don't know why. It just feels, it's like a lot of I mean, I guess everyone's a little bit uncomfortable. Not everyone. A lot of people are uncomfortable with spotlight. But I trust you completely. And also this has been such this is something I wanted to do and then I did it and that feels great and I love it and I feel proud and I feel so fucking lucky at all the people who came on the podcast and supported the podcast. Like I feel so lucky that I thought like, well, my nerves about talking about something I love and it feeling, I don't know, egocentric or something. Like, fuck that. I'm not going to let that get in the way of celebrating something that I love with somebody that I trust to pilot that, what is it? Pilot that ship? What do pilots have?
Pilot the plane.
Pilot the plane fucking thing. Okay, great.
Clear the ship?
Yeah, clear the ship. I'm like nervous. Like I have some chocolate here. I have like all my crystals out. Like I'm
get
scared.
Your crystals.
Hold my crystals. Here we go. But I trust you.
Okay, so I have lots of questions.
Okay.
And I'm sure lots of stuff will come up. Okay, so let's go. Okay. We're going to go back to the very beginning. I'm a singer too. We're going to go back to 2016.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
You're with Ashley Como.
Okay.
And you're working and you're like, I have this idea for this blog. Because blogs are super popular in 2016, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I didn't really know about podcasting in 2016.
No, I think it's like it really boomed in like 18, I feel.
Yeah, like 1918.
Yeah. So what was the... This is just a history podcast.
Yeah.
What was your original thesis or concept for Liquid Courage?
Oh, I love that. Okay, I was reading Sick in the Head by Judd Apatow. Judd Apatow, I don't know how to say the name. The producer, director, writer. And it is a book where when he was, and my God, come at me because I'm gonna misrepresent this so hard. But I have a bad memory. But he wrote a book of interviews where when he was a teenager, the internet didn't really exist, and he wanted to learn how to do stand-up comedy. And so he called all these like managers of these stand-up comedians like Jerry Seinfeld and stuff. And he basically said that he's from a radio station or like a newspaper, but it was his high school, like newspaper or radio station or something. And then he just showed up like to see Jerry Seinfeld, and he had a little audio recorder and basically was like, how do you write a joke? But like, what if they don't think it's funny? How do you do it? And then essentially like decades later, he re-interviewed these comedians and a bunch more, and Amy Schumer's in it, whatever. And really the thesis of that book was like, I wanted to know how to do something. So I went to the people who I saw were doing it well, and I asked them how to do it. And I overcomplicate things. And to me, it was like, oh, it's that simple. Like I can just go to somebody that I see is like thriving in an area that I feel like a little struggling in, and just ask them like, hey, how are you doing that? Because I'm not able to put the pieces together yet. I think I could do it. I think I have like the ingredients, but like, what's the recipe? And that was the first part where I was like, fuck, I don't know why I'm waiting so long to feel like I deserve to be at the table. I should just like ask people to dinner. Right. That was basically what it was. Yeah.
So then what made you wait 2 years?
2 years, 4 years. Like
Oh yeah, 4 years. Sorry.
4 years. Quick math. It's so funny because sometimes I say that you remind me of Dak Shepard, and he's big on quick math. What made me wait 4 years? Oh my God.
And also in the 4 years,
did
that thesis change at all?
I think a little. I think it grew. I mean, it definitely changed from a blog to a podcast for sure. And that's a good question, Dee. A little helpful. Because okay, so it changed a little over the years, and that not only it built, like not only did now I want to ask people, how are you doing these things? But also that connection. Like I don't know how you feel, because you're also an artist, for listeners and viewers if you don't know. And for me, it's very easy in this community, whether it's the comedy community, the performance, the on camera, whatever, to feel very isolated, like just to feel very disconnected from everybody. And I found myself, I like said to my therapist one time, like, I just want to belong in the comedy community. And more eloquently than this, she kind of pointed out, like, haven't you been in the comedy community for like 8 years or something, whatever?
So, almost like, what does that take? What are you looking for to be like?
Yeah.
Like a card, like a membership card?
Right, exactly. And I'm like, oh, I literally have one from Second City. Like, what am I waiting for? So I think, so part of it also was, how are you doing this? And then on top of it, it was like connecting with people. Like, at least this would be a reason to, like, it's hard to just say, hey, do you want to hang out for an hour? Because then you're like, oh, what do I have to offer? What am I going to say? But at least a podcast or a blog or an interview or whatever, I guess it's like the metaphorical liquid courage to be like, can we connect a little? And like, as I'm answering this, I'm realizing like, oh yeah, all this shit is so fucking scary to me. Like being vulnerable, putting yourself out there. Also, what took me so long is, what's that saying? Analysis until paralysis. I think Okay, so
you said that a few times. You said or you said you said perfectionist to analysis.
Because I was high with Aurora Brown, and my friend Katie, who listens, text Katie, you know Katie, texted me, and she was like, "Oh, I'm laughing so hard. You just said perfection." Anyway,
you know what? I believed it. I was like, "Oh, I love that. I'm gonna get tattooed on my arm."
Oh my God, it's like when you get the wrong like symbol and you think it means beauty, and it's really like, I'm a dipshit. And you're like, great.
You're like perfection too. paralysis are like, obviously you're not that much of a perfect.
Yeah, and you're like, that's why I got it. It's ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it took me so long, mostly because it meant so much to me that I wanted to like do it right. I'm putting air quotes. And then I ultimately realized like, it's never the right. My definition of right is like perfect, because I also wanted to impress all of these people. I think so highly of them. So it took so long because I thought like, okay, I have to know, I have to have the right equipment.
Did you want to impress them like for like personal, because you talk a lot about your purple pre-rolled ears. You talk a lot about your people pleasing habits, and was it out of that, or was it career wise too?
Both, I think. I wanted them to think I was actually, a huge thing is I wanted them to feel taken care of. And I thought if I didn't have all my shit together, then like, how does a guest feel if you don't have all your stuff together? And like, it's just human things. I'm not like allowing myself to just make human mistakes and not like shit on myself for it. But a lot of it was, I wanted to make the guests feel comfortable, but I wanted to impress them like, oh, this is a great professional thing. And also I think I wanted them to like me for sure. I didn't want to seem like a loser or dumb but a huge thing was like, I wanted to have my shit together. But the problem was I started realizing that bar of having my shit together is like way too high. Like it doesn't.
Well, this leads me to my next question, actually.
Oh shit. Well, that means you're a good interviewer.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That means you're a great guest.
You almost said host, didn't you?
Yeah, because that's how I see you. Okay, so yes, talking about this, literally my next question was, you're the research queen.
Oh, really?
Well, people are like, you did so much research. And I was like, no, she's a stalker.
It's the same thing.
Same thing. No, so you did your research, which is like totally you, which I love. That's what makes us so different and work well together. But you also made the conversation so natural. Like, I didn't know that you never met these people. Like you and, I don't want to point people out because I don't want people to feel left out. But like, there was tons of people that I didn't know, you didn't know, or whatever. The connections were so far away that the conversation just was flawlessly familiar and quite beautiful. And I want to know how you balanced all this research, and then also, like you mentioned, you don't want to ask questions that other interviewers ask. So how did you balance that with just genuinely what you wanted to know and being vulnerable and talking from the heart?
Oh, good question. No, and I mean that. I know I'm being such a dick. But genuinely, like, that's a great question. I did, like, when I was interviewing people, and D is not peeing right now. He's pouring more champagne. I also love that green glass you're drinking.
Matches your eyes.
So cute. Yeah. Who am I? I binged the first season or the only season of Euphoria. And like, now I look like I'm on Molly and I don't even know what Molly is. Like, I look a bit ridiculous. Anyway, whatever, we're going for it. First time I wore this eyeshadow, I was like, D would appreciate this. Yeah. And it's like,
it goes so well with
your eyes on my body.
Yeah. My eyes are the same color. No, they're brown. With this orange.
They do actually. My eyeshadow, what would you call this color? Like a teal or like a turquoise?
I'd say sea breeze.
Sea breeze. Sea breeze with like terracotta.
Yeah, with a terracotta twist.
A sea breeze stint with a terracotta twist. Honestly, terracotta I think is my favorite color.
It's kind of terracotta.
I know, we just called it terracotta.
Oh,
I love it so much.
That's what we were saying.
Yes, you're sure it's terracotta.
I also say kind of burnt orange, and I like burnt orange.
Yes, I was going to say burnt orange, and then like I didn't know if you wouldn't like the burnt part. But I agree. I love burnt orange. Like that's like, maybe I should wear, like if I wore that shirt with this eyeshadow, or you wore this eyeshadow with that shirt, I think it would be good. I'm also wearing this like synthetic fake, like.
I'm really into fake fur right now.
Are you?
Really into fake fur.
I'm like really into fake fur. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
So yeah, how did you balance asking questions from the heart? Because that would be the hardest thing. It's like you listening, and I know you, so you're listening to all these podcasts, being so attentive, and I know you already have your questions for these people in your head.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, how do you balance that? Or do you sometimes you're like, I'm going to ask this to Gwen. You're going to ask Gwen. You're going to ask this again.
Yeah.
Or do you throw all those questions out?
Fuck yeah. I love how you see me. I'm seeing how you see me, and like, it's very nice. And I have to, anyway, this is like a side note. Now my feet are sweaty. And my hands, it's probably the synthetic fur. I really appreciate that. And that means a lot because, walking away from the podcast, I realized if someone said, like, I do remember a couple guests saying, or pointing out, or just like thanking me for researching, and I actually didn't know that I'm researching more than other people research. And maybe I'm not, but like that I just thought this is what everybody would do. And I think sometimes you get in your own tunnel vision and you're like, no, I'm just doing it how everybody does. And you don't realize, no, everyone does things a little differently and it's all a wonderful ending, but the journey's different, whatever. So I think that is something, like if someone said, what are like the top few compliments that you could get from this? If my guests feel taken care of and they feel like I put effort into their questions and I listened, like that is all I can ask for. That's what I want to do. So I think balancing it. Okay. Yeah. So I've obviously listened to podcasts before. I love podcasts. Or like we've all watched interviews where, and doing research for this, I would see people ask like these guest interviews in other podcasts or on TV. And part of me just thought like, what a fuck you to that guest that you just asked them that question. And I'm not going to call anybody out or whatever. Like I'm not here to judge.
It's almost not even so much like a research into what they've done, but like they put no mental
thought.
Research into like what the person stands for. Or,
yeah. It would be like me interviewing like the star of The Boys, like a show, The Boys, and then being like, oh, you were on The Boys? Like it's just minimal, like just read their IMDb, small things. So I really thought like these guests are coming on my podcast and giving their
who did you ask? Who did you ask? They're like, oh, did you watch the behind the scenes documentary?
DJ. Not only did I watch the animated series that she was like in the writer's room with, but I watched the documentary behind making the series. And she's like, oh, there's a documentary?
You're like, did you know how to make it?
Okay, so how did I balance? Clearly I'm like fucking tangent queen over here. Okay, straight up Monica Geller energy. I had my notes. I wrote out my questions very much in like topics. So it might be like their relationship, and then I have all my questions, and then like now I want to ask them about their starting their career, and then the question. So I had them in topics so that I knew, and above them each, I had allotted a certain amount of time for each topic, based on sort of what I was feeling. So as we're talking, I'm sort of checking in as well, and sometimes I'm like, we don't need to ask that, or they've already sort of answered it in a different way. Let's move on. Because I also want to be present and just allow for the conversation to go where it goes. But what I found, which was so weird, I love witches. I've talked about this a million times, psychics, all those things. You reading my tea leaves, like love everything, is that often the conversation, they would answer my questions before I asked them. And at first I was like, how the fuck is this happening? And then I realized, oh, because if you put these two people together and if these questions are genuinely coming from like my heart and like what I am fiercely curious about, then of course that's where the conversation is going to go naturally. But I'm always fucking nervous. I literally pee like 2 minutes before every single recording. I spend hours listening and reading and researching. And then I spend hours typing up my notes, and then I rearrange them. And then I go through them all and see, is this a natural flow? This is sticking out. This is stupid. Have they been asked this before? And I pick it out. And then it's like improv though. I know this is a long answer, but like then really what it is I've gone over my notes so many fucking hours that then you just have to go and you just trust yourself and you remember a lot of the stuff. Yeah,
it's like anytime we do a set or you do host a live show, because we don't have it, like we can't have our notes. Well, you can, but for us, I think we think it looks shitty.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was never a point where I was like, does she have notes in front of her?
Oh, that's amazing.
Also, you would hate my notes.
Dustin and I have such different like work styles, and it makes it such a good partnership to work with, but we have such different work styles. Like, mine would annoy you and yours would annoy me.
I'm just going to go over a few things right now.
Okay, love it.
So at first I was like, oh, I'm going to bold this because this is what I need to read bit by bit.
I love.
It's like the intro.
Yes.
But then everything was bold.
Right.
Never pulled off.
No. Can I give you a tip? This is what I would do. Yeah, everything just fucking bolded. And then it's aggressive. Like then it's aggressive. No, this is what I would do. I had color codes. So I have red for my times. I have purple for questions that like I'm wondering, and I will ask if I'm like, oh my God, they're not giving long answers. Because a lot of these people I don't know at all. They could give me one word answers. They could talk for an hour.
No one did that though.
No, everyone was so wonderful. They really were. But I had like purple text for stuff that like you can throw aside. You underline titles. I never want to get anybody's like, like if somebody had a movie or a book or something, underline that shit, right? So I would underline it. I also, my questions were bolded. My thoughts were not. So like I had a thought and then you just bold the question. So you're like, oh, okay. And any words that you really feel are important, but you're like, I don't know if I'm going to remember this word in the moment when I'm drinking or getting high, which I was very nervous about. I would like caps that, or I would do something like that too.
My notes.
I would. I'm so excited. We should like put up a photo of like your notes and my notes and but you're shaking your head like that. Yeah, neither one are wrong. They're just different.
But you know my spelling. You know I'm self-conscious about
the spelling. Yeah, but babe, that's fine. You just do spell check. Who cares about spelling?
Like right now I have, and I would get OS angry at you. Like
Is that
OS.
so?
Maybe.
Like, but it's like, did
But
you
yeah.
just read it over and fix it?
Yeah.
I'm yelling at you with the notes that you're doing for me. Love you.
The rest is just nonsense. No. Even though my notes are shit, you're totally following them so perfectly.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Well, you also know me so well, so like you probably know where my tangents are gonna go.
It was hard to be like, because you also answer a lot of stuff in your interviews. So it was hard.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
In your, like when you're talking to people, you share a lot of yourself. We'll talk about that later. But like there was a part of it's like, how do I find out what she hasn't said and what I don't like, what I do know about her, because I know most things about you.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to kind of balance that. Okay, not only.
Okay.
So I learned to say, this is the sentence of my third question.
Okay.
I know how many hours you put into this, and you busted it out. So many episodes for even. That's why I don't read it word for word, but everything's folded. So maybe I do. No, but you, for any season of a podcast, 30 episodes is long. Especially in the amount of time that you did it. So it's not like you did 2016 and you started recording them over.
No.
To be clear, you started recording pre-COVID, yes?
I started recording February of this year.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Like bonkers. Like bonkers.
Yeah. I don't know why we did this.
And so people only get to see the finished product.
Yeah.
Like us side by side and the music and blah blah blah. So that's how it goes. Did you have moments where you got to sit down and just enjoy the process? Like you definitely, you could tell that you're obviously, okay, first tangent, kind of, your listening space is gorgeous.
Oh my God, now I'm so nervous. What is my listening? I've never seen it. I should look.
If you just listen to this podcast, please watch at least a little bit of video, because when Amanda's really listening to the person, it is the most just warm, beautiful. Your eyes get a bit sleepy, but that's okay.
But is that the one where I'm high? Because that's probably
yeah. No, never mind. You were just high. No, just anyone. You're just like so focused, and there's such a. You're doing it right now, kind of.
Oh, are my eyes sleepy? It's just my eyeshadow. It's just
yeah. You're just doing this.
My sea breeze, my sleepy sea breeze eye.
Sleepy sea breeze, but it's so beautiful. I just want to say.
I didn't even think of that. I'm so glad. Imagine I looked like I was like, ugh. Like imagine I just looked so over it. Yeah, or I looked like you look like a psychopath. Like imagine I looked like that too. Well, I guess I'm glad that it reads, because that was one thing. Okay, I have to say this too. That was one thing that when I was in the moment actually getting to speak with guests, I thought like, I cannot let my fear of being good enough or my insecurities or my fear that like, oh fuck, I'm going to lose where I am in my notes. I was like, fuck that. This is so important to be in the moment and talk to these people. If you are not actually like listening, and not only listening, but like engaging and experiencing this conversation as one of the people who's fucking in the conversation, then don't have a podcast. And there's no point to doing this whole thing. And sometimes I had this crystal that's supposed to be live in the moment. And sometimes I had that with me as well. That would help. Oh, I thought you were going to get your crystal and you just reached for your drink and just took a sip. Anyway, I'm so glad that came across, because I was really actively listening, and that was so important, not only as like a host, but like this podcast is supposed to be for me. Ultimately, this was like, anyway, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So, so that came off wonderfully, but did you have time, like when you finished? So there's just so much wisdom that these beautiful guests gave out, that for me, it was like, did you get time to process it? So you also re-listened to the podcast many times. So was it kind of like, did it numb you? Did you get a second to sit in it?
Oh, again, like good question, D. And I'm not just saying this. Sorry, I just cut you off too.
I just said thank you.
Oh, you did? You're welcome. That's such a fucking good question, because you know what? Okay, that came up 100%. Okay, so yes. And I also should say, when you're like, you also have to listen to them back. And I went, I meant I have to listen to the audio and the video. I have to listen to myself.
It's insane. Yeah, it's not like, it's not a disrespect. It's you go back 10 seconds, like it's
editing audio, everybody, and like I had no experience doing it before this. Okay, so yeah, it's listening to myself. That was the because you listen to you listen to yourself say negative stuff about yourself. You listen to yourself talk about an insecurity, and sometimes you don't even realize the same insecurity comes up in 5 episodes, and you're like, Amanda, enough, get over it. Yes.
You're like therapist.
You're like, okay, how long are we going to keep telling ourselves this story? Like, okay, the story's done. Anyway, okay, this was so important too, because Okay, so I started recording before COVID. Obviously, then shutdown happened as was necessary.
Oh my God, Amanda, you're just hitting my questions.
Am I? Oh my God, because I'm a fucking witch.
Oh yeah, we talked about snapping. We're just gonna snap for the audience because I know how bad you wanted to snap
Right?
this whole season. Okay.
Okay, enjoying the process. This absolutely came up. So, in the beginning, so I had a couple banked, and of course, me being terrified, I think I banked like, I want to say 6, and that might be wrong, before COVID, because I had, so Amelia, Connie, Izzy, Lisa, Kara, Emma, Susan, Connie, Roche. I had 9. I lost 1, had to interview Isabel, a second time.
Yes.
But I had 9 banked before. Okay, so January and February, I recorded 9 episodes. That's ridiculous when I think about that. Okay, so I recorded 9 episodes. Then I went into recording virtually, like over the internet. And here's one thing that I realized. So I stopped batching episodes like that. So for viewers and listeners, some people will record every week and then edit and post. Some people will record like 10 and then you're ahead of the game because the one you're editing isn't due this Wednesday. It's due, what am I in school?
Yeah, they'll do a season.
Like a month.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in the beginning, I was banking because I was terrified. I was batching out of fear. But then what I did is I recorded 4 episodes. So Natalie, Martha, Erica, and MK. I recorded those 4 in a 2-week time span, and they weren't going to air for another month. And here's what I found. Probably because it was during COVID, this was like the beginning of lockdown. Lots of things were changing. Also, I was finally doing this project that I've been wanting to do for 4 years that was so emotionally loaded because I didn't feel good enough and I didn't feel worth any of these people's time. And now they're actually giving it to me, and I'm connecting, and I'm forcing myself to open up all these things that when I was editing those episodes for like a month later, I didn't feel those things anymore. I didn't have the fear that I had a month ago when I was editing it. So that was a moment where I thought, ooh, if this is actually going to work for me, like if this is going to be a real process for me, I have to be recording them a little bit more in real time because I want to be asking questions that I'm actually worried about right now.
Yeah.
So that was something where I like noticed, ooh, I'm not having time to.
So did you listen to things and you're like, oh, that's solved? Or like this is inside you or.
Yeah, a little bit, where I was like, I would be editing like Erica's episode, and at the time of recording it, I felt all the things I was asking. I was right there. And then in editing it, I was like, oh, wow, I recorded this like 3 weeks ago, and I'm asking her about something that I'm really insecure about. I'm not insecure about that anymore. And it's probably because the world feels like it's ending, but also because I'm getting to soak up all this wisdom and all this kindness and generosity from all these people that I admire. Like that's true. Like that's shoving love right at you. And that fucking stuff will like heal a lot of things. And
you can tell. There wasn't a big shift in how you conducted yourself or the tone of the videos at all. But personally, I think there's so many people that know you I'd be interested to see what your mom thought of it.
Yeah, she listened to every single episode.
Let's get her on. No,
get her on
here. I'd be interested in what she thinks, and for the people that know you so well, that kind of shift in you.
Yeah.
And also the things that you hung on to all the way to Ashley's.
Oh God, I'm like, I haven't even thought of that, and I'm scared. Because I should say also, like, so the final episode was released like 2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah.
So I don't even think I've had.
And filmed Friday, right? Last Friday. So like, it's so fresh. I mean, ideally, like maybe I would have done it. In my head, I was like, let's get them all done a month before, and then I have time to just like sit with it. That but for this, happen. It doesn't make sense.
No, because you wanted,
your journey as much as it's about these people, which it beautifully was. It was about. This is really about your journey as a human, getting to, me, anyways, as a viewer, getting to watch you see the world and see the expression of success and insecurity and art through other people's eyes.
I think that's just because we're friends and you love me.
People are like, I just watched this girl because of her hair.
I don't give a shit. Because of her weird eyeshadow. Yeah. I mean, but you're right. You're right in that, like, the integrity of the show, it was important that it was about these people, these guests that were coming on, but the way that the questions would be steered would be where I'm at in that time. Yeah. And so if I do it all in 1 month, like, where's the growth? And also it's sort of robbing me of the experience because, like, I don't need to have 7 therapy sessions in one day. Let's have 1 a week for 7 weeks. Like, that's how you grow and you change. And it's like, it's like, if I have this 1 episode, well, it's not really fair to that guest who just gave me all of this like beautiful generous advice that they wouldn't, I don't think I think all of my guests would be like, I didn't give you advice. Blah. That would make them feel like I'm
100%,
not, you know, but them gifting me like stories of their experience and their thoughts, like for that to sink in, they deserve for me to wait and allow that.
Being present in that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But it was hard to have moments to enjoy it, honestly, because most of the time, you know, when I enjoyed it was, this sounds stupid a little bit, but in the recordings, every single episode, I had at least one moment, and some I just had like fucking, it's like when you have multiple orgasms. I had, yeah, that's wrong. But I get it. Yeah,
never had it.
Have never happened yet. But I think this is what it feels like. Yeah. Every episode, I had at least one moment where I was speaking with them or they were speaking, and I just had this like visceral gut feeling of like, oh my God, I'm so fucking grateful. I'm so lucky to do this. I'm so glad I finally did this. I'm so glad they're my guests. And I think really the recordings were when I got to be in the moment and enjoy it. And I know that sounds silly because you're like, my notes and oh my God, these people terrify me. But at the end of the day, I had to remind myself, it's not live. It's fucking recorded and then it's going to be edited. So if I crumble and fall apart, I'll edit it out.
Yeah. It can
like,
be a 50. Yeah. Yeah. You can easily go from an hour and a half of miserable interview to a 50-minute really amazing interview.
Golden little thing. Yeah, totally. Like, exactly.
So we talked a little bit of COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh God.
So COVID happened.
Hey everybody, just
it's
so you know.
Going on right now.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening.
Also just like so you'll see me with my little Kleenex, but I brought in all my plants for winter and I'm just allergic to everything.
Oh, you poor thing.
So I'm like constantly, I'm like,
it's them or you. You're
yeah.
Like,
bye.
I guess
so it hit, and then so you did it like literally you started right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
But we didn't know at the time. You don't know what's going to happen. Even when it hit, you don't know the seriousness of it. And I think we talked along the way about our own feelings towards how everything's panning out. Mm-hmm. But as soon as it hit you, that how it's going to affect your podcast, how it's going to affect Liquid Courage.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that? Because it is a platform that does allow in these times to work.
Oh my God. Yeah. I feel like there's probably more podcasts coming out now than ever. I did feel stupid that I had just gotten 2 mics and 2 headphones. Don't need that. I still have them in the box, basically.
Where did you buy them?
Yep.
Oh, good for you.
Bought this. Actually, little tidbit, this spit screen is yours that you...
I literally was like, Eddie, where's my spit screen? And he's like, I don't know.
You loaned it to me so long
We were looking
ago.
for it today.
I'm so sorry.
That's
I need to give it back to you. I mean, it's
in
covered
COVID. I was like,
COVID.
Amanda has one.
You know what? And like Rompton, my partner, bought me one as well. And the reason I use this is because it's black and I thought it was less distracting. That one's silver. Anyway, I do need to give this back to you, but I was like, oh, I'm recording. I should have just, anyway. Yeah. No, but I will give it back to you. Okay. So COVID. Yes. Okay. So my plan. So the first part was like, I didn't plan on 30 in the very beginning. Like when I was thinking of all of this, I was like, I don't know. And I talked to people who had podcasts and they had suggested doing a season versus doing just continuous. How you can do like every week you upload or whatever. Do a season because then that way at the end you can kind of reflect and figure out what you want to do differently. I was like, oh my God, I love planning. Let's do a season. So I didn't know how many. And then I was in the shower in like December 2019, maybe January 2020. And this never happens. This is like in movies. It just hit me. I was like, I'm turning 30. I should talk to 30 women. And I told my mom, and my mom was like, that's a lot of people.
Too bad you weren't turning 15.
Yeah, I know. I know we joked today. We're like, should we do it for your birthday? And she's like, no, it's too many. But it felt right. And I often, I'm sure I've talked about this on the podcast because it's a narrative that I tell myself all the time. It's an old one, an old nursery fucking rhyme, that I don't have a gut instinct, that I just feel like I don't. But I'm getting one way more through therapy. And when they happen, I fucking listen because that's the way that you make them stronger, even if they are a little ridiculous or they might kill you. So in the shower, I get a gut instinct. It's like and I wanted to talk to...
You crack your head, you're dead.
And the gut instinct killed me. And now I'm back. I am a ghost. And that's why I have this cheap synthetic, like sheepskin thing that is literally making me sweat so hard right now. Okay, so I had this thought in the shower, and my plan was I want to have all these 30 episodes. Okay, so it's like December or January. My birthday is in April. I'm turning 30. I'm like, let's record 30 episodes before April. That was my plan, was to record them all before. And then I've learned for when I'm 30. I very quickly learned, people's schedules are hard, especially artists. They're all over the place. And most of the time they're not our own. Like we could book this and then in pre-COVID
I think
times,
if COVID happened in January 1st, you would have been able to do it.
Maybe. You think so? But you know what else? Here's the thing. COVID hits and like now Zoom and all these things are so normal. Are so not normal. They're so common. But when COVID hit, I had 9 episodes recorded, and I was talking to my partner because my partner came to quarantine with me for the full lockdown. Because I live alone, and he came here and we quarantined together. And there were many nights and days where I just cried, and I was just like, this is stupid. I'm not going to do this. Like, because I had people coming to my place. And I was providing the alcohol. That was a huge thing. I'm like, if it's over the internet, now I'm asking people to provide their own alcohol. That's bullshit. What am I doing? I'm sending people, how much do I send them? Am I being cheap? Like all these questions. So I really decided like, you know what? I should just wait. I just shouldn't do it. And then I talked to David Guthrie, who we talked about Beck and Call earlier. He's a friend of mine. I created a show with him as well with Emma Carter, who's one of the guests. And he basically was just like, just still do it. Yeah. And I really thought like, I'm very good at finding reasons not to do something. So let's just still do it. So then just deciding to do it. And for a few of them, I didn't record video and I didn't even have video. And that was a huge mistake. I don't know why I did that. Like, why would you talk to people without?
I just love watching. So this is my problem with podcasts.
Yeah.
Is that, or with anything, I can't multitask. I'm not a multitasker.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm in it. This is what I'm focusing on. So listening to podcasts, I have to be walking. Like I can't watch TV and I just can't do it. I can't write and listen to a podcast. And then when you do video, it's like, obviously I want to watch because I want to see the reactions and the interactions and the faces. Cause that's what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, I guess I can't watch any other one. So it made it super hard to watch.
I think, what episode? I think 14 was when I started doing videos. And before then, because originally I wanted to record them in person, like before COVID, but I just was like, how do I do that setup in my house? Isn't it funny
how it's like, now it's like, obviously it's just like that.
Yeah. Well, because coming from like acting and creating like TV stuff, like that's what I would have loved to do. I would love for this to be, because I love like Hollywood Reporter roundtables. Like that's what I love. Just sitting down and just asking people and connecting and being like, okay, you do all this shit. Let's talk to you as human to human. Like what scares you? How do you get past that? Okay, but I'm really struggling. How the fuck did you do that? How did you feel when this happened? How did you not get knocked down by this? Like, so I wanted to record it. And you're right. It is sort of funny. Like, again, I need to so acknowledge my privilege in saying this, that like sometimes it feels like certain things work out. Like the universe is like, universe. My privilege works out.
You weren't doing a live immersive dance project.
Right. Oh, bless those. Yeah, that would be hard. I'm sure they found a way. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it worked. It worked. And like, so, and to be totally honest, the learning curve on this, because I did all of it. And again, of course, what I do is I'm like, we're going to do this. We're going to do everything 1,000,000%. And I get I set myself up. Like I put way too much on my plate. So, some of these episodes in the beginning were taking easy, 8 hours to edit. And so I'm editing for 8 hours, then I'm making promotional material, and my goal's post once a day. I'm making all that. So, I said my partner quarantined with me. He basically played Witcher on Nintendo Switch, and I worked 9 to 5. That's
all. Because
you saw him online every time. And we would see you and your partner as well, log on. And every time we'd be like, hey, Eddie, or whatever. And then we're like, hi, Susan, like any of the friends on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the beginning, that was the other thing about it is, if COVID didn't happen, I don't know if I would have been able to do it in the way that I did, because I have spent on just editing easily 100 hours, easily. That's a little ridiculous.
Wild.
Why am I doing this for free? But it's a passion thing. You just do it.
Just a quick technical thing. Did it get faster?
100%. Okay. I found so many, I'd find a trick. Not a trick. I'm saying it's a trick because I didn't know, but literally I'd find a feature that everybody probably uses. And I'm
trim.
I found
Control T.
Yeah. I found Control T. Oh, and it changed my life. And and since starting it, I've had a few people reach out and say, I want to start a podcast. Can I get your advice? Or friends saying, hey, my friend wants to start a podcast. And now I'm just oh my God, everything I've learned here, because it took now I can edit something so much quicker. And just finding ways that work for yourself, like finding things. A huge thing, Monica Geller of me, is I have a huge Excel spreadsheet for like everything. Obviously, I should show you. It's a color-coded like producing calendar. It's a budget. I have all of it templates. So like, but you have to, so that you can keep as much of the fun and joy of it. This is what happens before you can afford to bring on a producer and an editor. You just edit it yourself, and you figure out ways to. So it got easier. 100%. Like now it takes me, I don't take 8 hours to edit an episode anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So how much, gorgeous label.
Isn't it a pretty label?
Yeah.
Oh, I almost dropped
Lola!
it. Look how cute. Okay.
How much booze do you have?
Oh my God.
In your house?
I have so much alcohol, and I'm not a big drinker. Like, honestly, look, I already feel like I'm getting a little bit just from that tiny little bottle.
Also, I was thinking, it's like, what does Amanda drink?
Oh, and like what would be my liquid courage?
Yeah, because I know we drink beer, but I don't know, because it's just easy.
What would you say is my liquid courage? Like what would you say is like, okay, this is the thing. I'm also really cheap. So if we go out, I'm like, what's the cheapest thing that still tastes good?
Yeah.
But if like everything was the same price, what do you think I would get?
I don't know, because I'll go over to your house and you'll have one of everything in your fridge.
That's my people pleaser, because I want to be able to offer it. Yeah.
And I usually just drink your beer.
Mm-hmm. You do. Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, we drink everything together. So you don't seem like, oh, you're this person that drinks, which is kind of funny. Maybe that's a metaphor. I don't know what it is.
So my like drink of choice is like a really dirty vodka martini. That's like my favorite.
When I saw you in olives, I was like, that's so strange.
Oh, with Knox, when she wanted straight vodka and I had the olives. Yeah. Also the timing that I recorded a lot of them, like I hadn't eaten dinner and that wasn't smart. So I also had olives as like a snack. Okay. I have so much alcohol, D. I should send you a picture. Here's the thing too. Right before, or when we were going to go into lockdown, I had like LCBO gift cards, and I hoard, because I'm like, what if I need them? Like, I'm always like worried. And I did need them. So thank you so much to whoever got me LCBO gift cards, probably over the past 3 years. So I stocked up on a lot.
Never me.
And it was never you. Here's the other thing is I was like, so here's what I did is I went and I thought I should have one like white wine, red wine, rosé. Yeah. I should have a vodka, a tequila, a gin, a whiskey. Like I should have all the staples in case people ask, because I don't want to go out, especially during COVID. I was like, it's not responsible to go out every time somebody asks for a drink. So I loaded like my little trolley cart. I think we bought it together in Chinatown. Yeah, it's still going, by the way. I bought that in 2016.
Yeah, I love that cart.
She's still going. So I just loaded her up with alcohol. I was joking to Ramton the other day, like you can't see, but behind here, my bar cart, I am stocked. You know the vegetable drawer in your fridge?
Yeah.
Full of alcohol. Like I can't even pull it out. I bought this at like the beginning of COVID.
You mostly drank gin.
No, that's Nicola and Rosie.
No, because you drink with Knox.
Oh, you mean on the pod?
Yeah.
Okay, Knox drank vodka.
Oh, yes.
But I drank. No, I'm sorry. Like you're supposed to know every single drink. But okay, is there a tequila? I mean, is there gin in a Paloma? No, I drank gin with Flo and Joan, 100%, like Nicola and Rosie.
With Ashley, there was someone else too.
Oh yeah, with Ashley, there was somebody else. I think I drank gin the most. And funny. For Ashley's, I had to buy a new bottle because I was at the end. Somebody gifted it to me because they were moving. One
of my favorite cocktails has Lillet in it. So let's make that a different day.
Oh, I love that. Okay, that's great. We totally should, because I think there's only one size of the bottle, and I bought a large bottle and I only needed like an ounce. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. I also have like triple sec from Aaron. Yeah, and it's like
this is tangent. It has nothing to do with
I love
anything,
it. That's all podcasts are.
It's a good. I feel like liquors.
Yeah.
Even though you're like, don't think I'm an alcoholic family, but it's a good Christmas gift to be like, oh, I want to fill up my bar with, because you're never going to buy a bottle of Saint Ambrose lychee liqueur or whatever it is for a night where you're drinking. To get,
but what are you saying? Like my Lillet that has 1 ounce out of it, I should gift it?
No, like you ask for Christmas gifts to be like, oh, can I give me a gift card, or can you give me a bottle of just like what? That's the best part. It's like, just get a liqueur, whatever you think I need.
Well, for season 2, like maybe I should just be asking for else. I mean, I don't even need them now, but that's what a gift card.
For your guests.
But then for my guests, no, that's another thing. That's a whole other of me trying to.
I know that would stress you out. That stresses me out.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, I don't want the fact that somebody doesn't drink or that they're sober to be a reason that they're not a guest.
Okay,
That's
yes.
stupid. So yeah. Okay.
So that was beautiful too, how you let people drink tea. That was great.
Yeah, it's like, what's your favorite
Yeah.
beverage? I don't give a shit. You don't have to drink alcohol to be in this club. I don't care.
Also, caffeine sometimes gives me courage, for sure.
Oh my God, drinking black coffee with Shihang would make me feel just as jittery as drinking vodka with Knox. Like, yeah, 100%. So, and that just doesn't, anyway. My drink sort of matches your outfit.
Okay, let's stop with this.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Color designed by Amanda and Dustin. So
my
one
face
thing
looks so terracotta right now.
Okay, everything's terracotta. This year, 2020 is terracotta.
Okay, sorry.
So one thing I loved about your podcast,
I love you,
is that even though it was first centered, your original idea was with women, or not original, but as it developed, that it was so beautifully diverse. And that was across gender and sexuality and race and like age, places, and career. Like, it was so diverse, and not in a way where it's like, I need to make sure. And you talked about this, like casting and diverse casting. It was never in a way that was seeming like I need to hit this quota. And knowing you, I know that wasn't the case at all. But never even read that way, because it was just, you could see the through line of what these people meant to you.
Aww.
And I think it was such a beautiful example of what we need in this time and age of sharing those stories and experiences of people with, and being a good ally to everything, race, gender, sexuality. So I just commend you for that, and take a drink.
Holy shit. I don't even know how to.
You don't have to.
I don't even know what I think. That is, I do want to say that, first of all, I really, what? Oh, you say brain cells? Oh, I do want to say, like, I just so appreciate you saying that, because that is something that's very important. And I think because you're peeing right now through your drink. This is an instant where, even though we're friends, like, no, this is communicating you don't give a shit. Look, you look like Christmas with my rosé in your green cup.
All right, continue.
Okay, that's actually something that I became very cognizant. Oh, I just realized, like, cognizant of is describing what I'm seeing, because some people only listen. Okay, anyway. Like when I just said rosé and green cup, like, people watching know you have a green cup, people listening don't. That was something I didn't realize until I was like, oh, I would be editing and I'm like, what am I talking about? Oh, if people are just listening, they don't know that, like, your shirt is terracotta when we're saying terracotta. Anyway, that was a tangent. Okay. I think that's a tangent because I can't handle how much love you just passed at me, and so I'm changing. Okay, but I do feel like I could have done a better job. And with that said, there's also nobody I would remove from, I wouldn't be like, take you out. Everybody is like a gem. I really believe that. And that was part of that was when I was booking people, I was very specific, and I had my list of people, and it's obviously evolved over the years, but this wasn't something where I was thinking of people necessarily as I went.
Fly,
I had these people. It was so important. I had way more than 30 because, you know, people might have to say no or not be able to come on or whatever. Another thing I want to say is this started out in 2016 as I want to speak with women because that's what resonated with me. And that was when I was thinking of how are you doing this? The paths that I most valued in, like, seeking direction and guidance from were those paths of women, because that's the path that I felt I was following as a woman. Right.
And to be fair, from what I heard, a lot of it was through a lens of being a woman or perceived as a woman. Yes.
But I did definitely, you know, like 100%, then, you know, you sort of get this idea and you work on this for so long and some things get solidified and you don't know why and you don't re-examine them. And 100% this year when I was like booking people and I was thinking, well, wait, am I not going to have someone who doesn't identify as a female just because of that? The same, I'm not going to have someone who doesn't drink alcohol just because they don't drink alcohol. Like, I admire them. I'm intimidated by them. And I sort of felt somewhat restricted by this, like, thing that I set up for myself. And definitely, like, so, and I have had somebody on who didn't identify as a woman. And I was like, well, that's not going to fucking hold me back from booking you. Yeah. I want you on, you want to be on, great. And 100%, like, I'm not going to, in the intro and stuff, I'm not going to refer to you as a woman. That's not how you want to be referred to. And that's not what's true for you. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, you know, change the intro, whatever. So I really, I so appreciate you saying that. And I take that. And I think I could do better too. Like, I think both.
Yeah. I think we all can. And like, for a queer person, like, I think you were so beautiful. Anyways,
Thanks, Dee.
Um,
I love you. Thank you. That was so nice. That's really
So
nice.
you were hit with like, for me, I was hit with a lot of wisdom bombs.
Oh,
Just like
right?
episode after episode after, like
Oh.
every person you had on, every guest, every cast member, just like
He just slapped himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear the
So-
slap? Yeah. Totally. Right?
how did you one deal with that?
Mm.
Getting, especially in episodes where you did like 4 in a day. I know you never did 4 in a day, but like
Right.
4, like in close proximity to each other
Mhm.
filming. And then also, were there through lines of things that kept coming up over and over? And then were there also things, this is such a big question,
Mm.
of you're
This
like,
is my kind of question. This is what I ask people too. So it's perfect. I'm like, all right, great. Okay.
Sorry, let me do it in that way. My hands are sweating.
No, my way is I learned I fucking preface the question before I even ask the question. So anyway, yeah. So
You're
people
gonna-
don't know what I'm talking about.
No, yeah, I'm going to do a man impression.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
do
this question is going to cause you trauma. And we're going to go back in time.
Or maybe it won't. You know what? Maybe it won't cause you trauma.
Maybe
'Cause
it
you
won't
know
cause
what?
you trauma.
Sometimes, yeah, but you know
Sometimes-
what? Then
yeah.
when I was younger, and then they're like, I think Ashley really calmly, really kindly, I only noticed it in the edit, was like, oh, I don't know what you're gonna say, because I was prefacing this fucking caption she wrote, and I like just get to
Oh, yes.
yes, and I was like, oh, it's a wonderful thing, but they don't know it's
Oh,
positive.
but
Anyway,
the ride is great. Anyways, don't worry about it. The ride is
Okay.
beautiful. It's
ride is
what you
beautiful.
are.
Okay,
Um,
I have a roller coaster.
you're a beautiful roller coaster of your face like this.
Oh, sleepy sea breeze.
Sleepy Sea Breeze.
That's gonna be my stripper name,
That's
sleepy sea breeze.
that's a roller coaster name. And,
Yeah.
and you get spritz when it's hot in line.
Totally. And you don't really go up and down. Like, it's just sort of a lazy river. Like, cause come on, I don't have the energy to go up a hill and then rush down. That's
Yeah.
too emotionally. Okay,
That's
I'm so
the-
sorry. And also my bad memory, I'm going to forget this question.
Yes. Okay. So wisdom bomb. So much is going
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Was there through lines, and
Yeah.
how did you deal with the wisdom bombs? Like so much
Mm.
wisdom, like so much. Because for me, it's like waking up. You're like, oh my god, I need to do this, or I need to think this way. Not necessarily like that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then was there through lines throughout the season that you saw
Mm.
coming from these guests? And then were there things where, especially when it comes to like career, some people were like, do everything. We'll talk about that more later, so don't worry about too much going into that. Or
Okay.
just be an actor.
Yeah.
And people did like, I followed this and I wanted that. And so I went for it. And you know, you get those kind of. Did you find that there's more through lines, or did you find that there was more differentiating?
Like conflicting
opinions?
advice
Thank you.
almost.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. No, that's so good. That's so good. Dee, I so appreciate, like, you can see how much thought you put into this. And honestly,
I
I
didn't
could
listen
just
to it in episode.
cry. Do you see also I got in the habit of when I know a big cackle's gonna come, lean the fuck away from my mic. Okay. Yes, wisdom bomb, right? Like every episode I wanted to like pull like a little video quote or or audio quote or written quote. And most of them I did all three.
You
And
did.
honestly, and I did. And I did not have trouble not duplicating for those three. Like I found 3 wisdom bombs at least in every, and a lot of them I have like extra video little clips where I'm like, I could do, wisdom bomb after wisdom bomb, right?
It's wild. Yes.
It is like every episode. And you know what? I'm so comfortable bragging about this because it has nothing to do with me, because every guest came on and just shared something that completely like shifted my perspective. At
Season
least
2, you're gonna have a guest that you're like, I got nothing from.
or it's just gonna be like, well, that was a dud. And just
Yeah.
their audio, their video, and their like written quote are all the same thing. Or it's just like something I said that like had nothing, that I like complimented them on.
You're gonna be worried about that now.
Oh my God, how do you know? I'm like, oh my God, who am I booking? But you know what I really think? I really, really think, this is gonna sound so cheesy, but I really mean it, is that if you really sit down with anybody, and I really, really mean this, and maybe like 95% of the people, because some people are just fucking evil trolls. So let's say 95% of, like, I ran into somebody today who was like that. But if you, I just ruined my pretty conversation. If you like really sit down with anybody and you show them like respect and communicate that you value them as a person and you would love, like you value what they're going to say, no matter what it is, and you really listen, I really think everybody has like these like truth bombs, because everybody sees things just a little bit differently than you do. And so if you really just sit down, and it's also if you're vulnerable, if you're like, okay, Dee, you're doing this so well, I want to do this. How are you doing this? Because I can't get there. If you really listen, somewhere something's going to click and you're going to be like, oh, even if it's not exactly what you need to do. So yes, okay, truth bombs. That was another thing of like, let's not batch all of these. Let's not record like 5 a week, because I want to let these truth bombs land.
Yeah.
editing, me being the editor really helped, because when I did record like 4 in 2 weeks, I could put them, I could be like, I would walk out of my room after recording and my partner would be on the couch and I'd be like, that was fucking amazing. I did that with Martha, MK, Natalie, and Erica, because I recorded all of them in my closet because we didn't do video. And like they were in their houses and I was in my closet. And I walked into every single one telling my partner like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm going to die. I think I need to pee. Don't go pee. Because if you flush the toilet, you hear it from my closet. Okay, I'm so scared. Bye, I love you. And then came out of them. Like, that was the best conversation of my fucking life. Like, I just loved it. So part of it was compartmentalizing and talking to, you know, Natalie, and then putting that aside and knowing that I get to come back to it when I edit it. And then when you edit something for like 7 hours, you get to absorb it and like really listen to it. And then when you're like, basically all week, I'm just sitting with that episode. So I'm going in and making a promotional, like I'm taking an audio clip and then I'm taking a video clip and I'm taking a written clip and I'm making it up. So I'm sitting with those.
That's great though, that you get to digest it.
That's what I mean.
But did you find that there was like moments where you're like, oh, this person said this about following your one passion. This person said, go for everything.
Oh, 100%. Like, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, oh yeah. And even people who, but you know what, I'm thinking back, like most of the people, it's funny how I have such an insecurity about not doing one thing professionally. And I'm trying to think like, I don't know if any of my guests do one thing professionally. I honestly don't think any of them have done just one thing. And I'm not saying just because it's not a lack
I thought that too. I was thinking about that today, actually.
Yeah.
Or yesterday, where I was like, okay, so I'm going to ask this question, but then also, who was the person that, oh, see, now I can't even be like.
It's okay. There's 30 of them. You don't have to.
Yeah. No, there was a person that, I don't know. I feel like everyone did high school or like community theater.
Oh, everybody. Ashley talked about doing how she auditioned and did the duet.
Oh, I love that. No, but that wasn't it. There was a person that was the closest, but not even.
Right. To doing one thing.
Yes.
Maybe Connie Manfredi.
Maybe.
She did, but see, she started like a theater group. Like,
yeah.
It's so interesting because here I am being like, I want to be good enough at one thing that I don't have to do all the other things. And then who am I gravitating towards? Like, who am I?
Oh, who's but she's the beautiful redhead.
Beautiful redhead. Natalie Metcalf?
Yes, she's beautiful redhead. But the one that did Second City at 18.
Alice Moran. That was the Scotch for 5 hours.
Yes. So from what I got from her video, but even then she did improv. She was on television. It wasn't.
And she's written scripts. But you're right. Maybe the actor track for her.
Yeah,
maybe. But you're right. Like she does tons of improv. Sketch. And that's interesting because I thought like, you know, if you're like, how are you doing this thing? If I really wanted to just be an actor, why wasn't I gravitated towards people who were actors only?
I'd be interested in you finding people or maybe a season or like a little mini thing of just people that just did one thing. Yeah. And here I've also been in those acting classes where people are like, I'm only doing television. And I'm like,
and you know what? But really, I'm like, go suck a dick because I wish I was doing that.
Yes.
But you know what it was? I don't think it's because I don't like other things. I just want people to think I'm good enough. That's what I learned from it. It's just, I want to be in such demand for acting that I don't have time to produce. But that's just because I want people to think I'm so good at it.
So,
you know,
into my next question.
Yes.
How are you for drink?
I'm good because I brought over the whole bottle.
Okay.
But I do want to say that the through lines, because I think that's because it's something that came up so much, like for me and a lot of the wisdom bombs that dropped, like MK's, for example, in MK Morris's episode, a huge wisdom she dropped was like, you need to rest in order to even be able to be productive later.
And that came up in quite a few episodes.
Yes. And that was one wisdom bomb because I found a lot of them I was able to, that they changed me. Like, I know that sounds so wanky. I swear I picked up wanky. Oh, I've been burping this whole time. I swear I picked up wanky from Flo and Joan and like all this like UK reality TV I'm watching. But it sounds a little wanky, but like I really think that each episode, like I did absorb something, and I bring it up in therapy. I'm like, yeah, because my podcast, whatever. Like,
Natalie said this.
Natalie said this, and I don't give a shit.
You're not Natalie.
You're not Natalie, therapist. Oh, I love my therapist. Okay, but I did find that was one wisdom bomb I couldn't follow, because I'm like, well, rest is great, but I'm on a schedule, girl.
Yeah.
Like I got an Excel calendar going, but through lines, okay, 100%. And here's the thing. A lot of the through lines, again, are coming from me, because like, what questions am I asking? So I went, why am I gravitated towards this person? Why do I want to talk to them? That was a huge thing. Why do I want to? And the topics that kept coming up, imposter syndrome, 100%, lack of confidence in yourself, doubting yourself, taking risks. Like those were, it a lot of the time came down to that.
Also, there's ones that like, even that aren't so internal, but like spirituality came up a lot. A lot. Relationship, like as child relationship with yourself.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure.
Kind of like sexuality, but not in like a overt way, but like just kind of like more of a just weird
like,
things that kind of fit.
Well, yeah, like self-expression, right? Like a lot of these like hiding or just being, like just existing. How do you just exist as yourself and not question that it's wrong every facet and every fucking second of the day?
Yeah.
For a lot of people. And you know what really changed, like maybe halfway through, I'm just throwing out halfway, is I found myself constantly asking, actually, I think this was around the like Erica, Natalie, MK, Martha time, like around maybe episode 13 kind of time. So around halfway, I found myself constantly questioning, like, or asking people, but how do you do that? Like, but if you're so scared, how do you do that? Weren't you afraid? And I realized that was a moment of click, like cumulatively. There's no recipe or there's no like concoction to figure out how to not be afraid of something. You just fucking do. Everyone's scared and you just do it anyway.
So one of the funny questions I was going to ask you that I passed on my sheet because it wasn't relevant. So I was going to ask you, or you kind of answered it. I was going to ask you, how do you, in especially times that we're in, because I'm such a half finisher. So I have half shirts finished. I have half scripts finished.
You haven't finished the dress you said you'd make me.
Yeah. So many things. So many things. How did you finish this and focus on it and persevere? And I know how much from outside of this interview and just our relationship, how much stress you were under and how much you didn't see me.
It's COVID.
COVID, oh yeah. But really you answered it already about, you just did it. Like you were talking about, you cried for a bit, which I love. It's just you cried and then you just did it. You made the choice. You said you told Rompton, you're like, Rompton, you didn't say Rompton told me just keep going. You just said, like, I just need to go keep doing it. And I think that's such a beautiful thing of the human spirit and of you. And I know we suffer from the similar anxieties. But I think it's inspiring to me that you just kept doing it.
Well, I think also, thank you. And yeah, I'm also a starter, not a finisher. Ironically, we have a feature film script that we need to finish.
That's my backpack right now.
Yeah,
if anyone wants to bump into me at Shoppers,
he has a script ready. Almost ready because we haven't finished it. Okay, yes, I am totally the same way. And I really think, thank you. And part of it was, I said I would do this. And okay, so Rompton and I went to this like Tony Robbins conference. It wasn't Tony Robbins fully. It was like everybody. And it was a different guy who talked, and this was before COVID. Like a conference now, that's a nightmare. That's something they do in like Texas, and sorry, Texas, but that's happening. So one of the speakers, and I'm sorry that I can't remember what his name was, but he basically said, like, if you asked a friend to do something and they said that they would do it by tomorrow, and then they didn't, and then they said they would do it by the next day and they didn't, they kept doing it, their word would mean less to you. And then if they said, oh yeah, no problem, I'll get it done by next week, you wouldn't believe them. If you do that to yourself, you lose integrity for yourself. If I tell myself I'm going to do this podcast, I know, right? You're going to like cry. But
like that man whose name was Amanda Pereira.
Oh, you said my last name right. That was so good. But that really hit home because I thought, oh yeah, like I've lost integrity for myself. Like I say, oh, I might think, oh my God, that'll be so fun to write that script. But somewhere deep down, a little part of me is like, yeah, but you're not going to do that. And it's not a bully part of me. It's a part that doesn't want to be disappointed anymore by my, right? It's my creativity who doesn't want to be let down anymore. And so a part of it was, I said I would do this. I started it and I'm doing it. So I deserve for me to finish
Yeah.
it. I told myself I would do 30 episodes. We're going to do 30 episodes. And then you balance that with the self-care of like, okay, I've said I'm going to post every single day. How do I make this manageable? We're going to post 4 times a week and not 7 times a week. But I'm not going to act as if I'm like fully self-actualized. The other thing is that if you post on Instagram to all these people that you admire and you want them to accept you, and I'm saying Instagram, it could be Facebook, it could be you fucking text people, you tell them at the bar, don't be at the bar, this is before COVID. When you do that and you say, I'm going to do 30 episodes, I purposely said in my trailer of the podcast, I'm doing 30 episodes because I'm like, I'm not letting myself off the hook. It's a people pleaser. You have to finish because you told people you were going to do it.
So I remember you being disappointed, and it's like, for me, and I hope that what I'm learning from you and from my own self-growth is that it would have been so easy for me to be like, oh, I'm turning 30. Oh, I turned 30 and I didn't finish my goal. Oh, let's just do 10.
Right. 100%.
Hate that part of me.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's something that I am actively working on.
I don't mean yes, I hate it. Yes, you made this. Yeah, you were like, I hate that part of myself. I'm like, yes, I didn't mean that there. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And
totally.
I'm so proud of you.
No.
Because we are very different, but we are very same in so many ways. Mostly our mental illness. But
we're very different in our grammatical correction. Like you said, we're very the same and it's killing me. We're very similar.
Yeah. I'm very proud of you because seeing you do that inspires me that I can do that.
Really?
That quote that you came up with.
Oh God, what quote?
The Tony Robbins.
Oh yeah, I don't remember who it was. I think he's like the Irish
He's
guy.
a guy. He's a white guy.
Talking about giving a shit.
He doesn't need a name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this leads me to my next question. So we're gonna get a bit deeper.
Okay, I love it. Let's go.
What did your interviews teach you about your success?
My success? Oh, that's not where I thought you were going. My success.
Your definition of success.
Oh, that's good.
Your perception of success.
Yeah, part of it was like, we're all just like humans sitting in our apartment trying to make our internet work properly. Like it really humanized a lot of people. We're all just people like being humans. I know that sounds so silly, but just moments of like talking to Sean Taylor, and she's like, hold on, I'm uncomfortable. Like I want to change how I'm sitting, and changing her phone. I know that's so small, but it's like these unpolished moments where I'm so often, and I'm slowly moving away from this, thank God, but I so often am like so hyper aware of what people might think of me and how I'm coming across and all these things. And seeing these moments where, how I perceive it, I'm probably projecting, where guests are letting that go and they're just like being themselves, like where Aurora like can't light her joint, or like where Knox's phone is dying. Like these moments where it's like, oh yeah, you created an award-winning, like 5 seasons of an award-winning sketch show that's fucking brilliant, and you can't get your lighter to work to light your joint. Like that's fucking, I also like, so those moments, and sometimes asking these questions and it being just sort of a simple answer, and me being like, oh yeah, I can do that. Like me saying, but how the fuck, like, but when you're really nervous and you don't know how to do this and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, I have those moments where I doubt myself. And then I just sort of, do it. And then you come home and you eat a bag of chips and you doubt yourself again. I'm like, oh, I can do that. Like I can do it and then doubt myself again. Honestly, seeing how much connection, like how much I could connect to every single guest. You talked about in the beginning about how I sort of put these guests on pedestals, and definitely even the setup of of this podcast of like, I admire you, I'm intimidated by you, somewhat sets up this, that I'm at lower status. And slowly through these conversations, I realized maybe I still felt like lower than them, but I'm not as much lower as I thought I was.
Shut up.
You know what I mean? Like, but really, that's what it was.
That's what I wanted for you your entire life.
It takes fucking 100 hours of editing to realize that you're still low status to everyone, but you're not as low. But that was a huge thing. And when people said like, thank you so much for researching this as much as you did, or where they were then appreciating me, I was like, wait, what? Like I'm doing something that not should be, but is being appreciated. Or those were moments where they bumped me up higher. And I was like, oh, I need to also do that to myself too. And hearing it back, like when you're editing, that's a huge thing. The editing. I wish I had an editor for those 100 episodes or those 100 hours of editing, but also like what a fucking gift to get to be actually.
I like watching the interview, which you talked to about with Ashley, I think, or it's like watching or not watching the interview, watching the audition. You know, that.
Yes, like watching the sausage being made.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I still don't feel successful, and I don't know how to do that. I do feel that I feel victorious and so proud because I stuck to my integrity. I didn't have anyone on here. I didn't ask anybody on to be on the podcast as filler. And I never asked anybody on who I thought, ooh, people would be impressed. Oh, they'd want to hear from this person ever. I have to admire them. I have to be intimidated by them. If I'm going to put like 15 hours into an episode of researching and editing and promoting and probably more than 15 hours, it's got to be true to me, or where's my integrity? Then I've just thrown it out the window, and then I'm a podcaster for hire, and that's fine. Hit me up. I will be paid to podcast.
My God, hire her.
Please hire me. I would love that. But if this is for me, it has to, because that's how I'm going to feel proud. That's how those hours are going to feel worth it, you know? So yeah. I'm still working on the definition of success, but I did really see Alice said something, nugget of wisdom, where she said, you know, you might win awards, and like she acknowledged it's easy for her to say this because she's won awards, you know, but you can win awards, but sort of next week, like people forget that you're the winner of the award. The thing that has the longevity is like, am I a good friend? Am I a good partner? Am I a good daughter? Am I a good, like, those are things she like holds her hat to, and not to like misquote her, but that really hit home because it was like, yeah, you know, a lot of the time feeling like I just want to be an amazing actor and then doing an amazing job in a scene. It feels wonderful and fulfilling, but it's sort of fleeting. And so you're like, yeah. So I don't know about the success. I'm still working on that very hard, but okay. My drink is half full. Baby. Okay. Oh my God.
But in a very general sense, I don't want to get specific. You don't have to go on it forever.
Okay.
In a very general sense.
You're saying that because you know that I go on forever. I love it. Okay.
It's 5-hour podcast episode.
Yeah.
What did this teach you about others? In a sentence.
What did it teach me about others? Oh my God, that's so good. Okay, I have such a fucking good answer. And it's kudos to Ashley Como, which is funny. No, I didn't say that. Okay, it's kudos to Ashley Como. That everybody just wants to be asked to play. Like that is literally all it is. Everyone's like, can I play? Can I play in that thing? And they just are waiting to be asked.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
Great. These are the deep questions. Great. Next question.
Love it. Okay.
You shared a lot of your vulnerability, which you talked about. And I think that's what
which makes me want to die when I think about that.
I think that's why people really connected with you through this.
Right.
Were there times where you thought, I'm not going to share this? Like, I know you prepared it because I know you said, it's one of your segments of I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Or I need to admit something to you.
Right. He's pouring a drink.
I'm peeing.
So close. Like it's closer to the mic than his mouth. I swear.
Were there moments of you being vulnerable that you prepared it, but we're going to go, no, I'm not going to actually say this?
Like I prepared it in my notes, or I said it and cut it out afterwards?
Both.
Oh, fuck. I shouldn't have volunteered the second one. Okay. The notes, no. Every time I had a person where I was like, I have to admit this, I forced myself to do it. Because again, it was like, it was so hard. Like, let's say one of these people, it was so hard to ask them this time. It took me 4 years for some of these people. I'm not going to do it again. So no. And the hardest one was Trisha Black, because I was really ashamed of the admission.
I was going to say the mission of jealousy is such a thing gross. You don't find anywhere, which I think that you did so gorgeously. And I'm so proud of you because I have those emotions too. I'm sure everyone does, but they're very icky emotions.
They feel ugly, right? Like
nasty emotions.
Because they don't feel likable.
Yeah. And what you did in the outcome of that episode was so, I think it doesn't clear up every emotion of jealousy, but for a lot of them, I think it gives for me anyways, a lot of relief for jealousy.
Oh, I'm so,
and
oh my God, I didn't think of that.
Figuring out that emotion that people don't talk about a lot.
Oh my God, I'm so fucking glad. I'm so glad. In the moment, a lot of the time, I think admitting it took the power away a bit of like taking that power. I mean, it's like when you admit something, you take away some of its power, but yeah, jealousy, because also jealousy sets up again, like an imbalance of power and status a bit. I was jealous of you. I'm less than you. Like, and for sure there's lots of guests on that I felt jealous of. And then I said, I mean, especially with Connie Manfredi, I mentioned it, and with Trisha Black mentioned it. And, thank you. Yeah, there were for sure. So in my notes, no, like if I wrote down an admission, I told myself like, you're never going to bring them. You're like, it's already so hard to talk to them the first time. let's just do it. And like, you deserve to do it. And also I kept telling myself, listen, and like, you'll take care of yourself. If you do this and you want to cut it out of the episode, you will. So like, trust yourself that you can take care of yourself. So that was a huge thing. In the edit, I don't think I took out anything that I was like, ooh, I'm not proud that I said that. A lot of the time I wanted to take out, like if I preambled to a fucking question and I prefaced the question for like 30 seconds and then asked a question, I would look at the audio track and be like, look how long that fucking took you to ask the question. And sometimes,
the visual of it, the visual of it is pretty fucking like,
it's awful. Like you're like, what the fuck? And so sometimes I would trim it down if I'm like, well, this, did you, am I good now? So sometimes I would, like cut out pieces if I'm repeating myself a bunch, but really what I made myself sit with, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, you said like 17 times, take out 16 of them. And then I was like, hey, Amanda, you fucking put all this work in. Stop criticizing that you said like 17 times. You're leaving it in. This is how you talk. You're leaving it in.
Also,
so
it's
I
like,
sort
it's
of
gonna
like
make my recording. It's going to be my recording so much faster.
Yeah, my editing will just go by. Yeah, my editing will go by so quicker. So no, definitely. And and like, I really didn't edit a lot out of episodes. I always checked with my guests before and after. Is there anything you want to leave out? I get no happiness out of including something somebody is uncomfortable with. So after the fact, if anyone was like, hey, could you cut this out, or I'm uncomfortable with this? Oh my God, I'm like, fucking absolutely. I already got to connect with you. Like, I don't need, there's no glory in this.
It's not about,
No, and sometimes like for Alice's, we chatted for 5 hours. So I cut it down to 2 hours because I just thought that's a long podcast.
Yeah.
So I cut it down, and it's not like I just chopped off the end 3 hours. Pokemon was the very end of the conversation, and I tacked that on because I loved it. And we were quite drunk then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have a drink while I ask this next question.
Okay. Having a drink. I had to understand what you just said. Should I not have said that? It's because we're friends that I feel like I can say that. So, I'm like, should I? Okay, great.
Drink while I ask this next question. To be fair, I don't have good diction to begin with. And it's something I'm super self-conscious about. So thanks.
That's also why I'm like, I know you're self-conscious and I just called you out. But also we need to reframe that in saying you don't have good diction. Why are we like good and bad? I don't know.
So understanding.
Maybe people need to listen to you more.
Yes.
Maybe people need to shut up and listen.
Correct.
I love how you speak. Okay, great.
So
sorry.
Anyways, so take a drink while I ask this next question. What was something that surprised you about this journey? Like, I guess this is a similar vein of like something you learned about yourself that you never knew before. Mm-hmm. Something just surprised you. Is that the same question?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
okay.
Make it less personal. Make it more like.
Oh, I was about to go personal. Okay. Well, first of all, it surprised me. Okay, here's a quick one. I have two in good Amanda fashion, but I will be concise. Okay. In a not so personal, one thing that surprised me is how long fucking promotion takes. Like, I'm sorry. I've spent hours a day fucking making and posting, and I love every bit of it, and I'm so proud. But it does. Like, listen,
if you're like that Instagram post.
But and like no, like main thing is like if you're hiring someone for social media, you're not throwing them $20. You need to understand how long it takes and how much effort. Like, it is a valuable role.
So many people I've been looking for jobs, and it's so much, as many of us have been. Mm-hmm. But so much of it's like, social media person, you can work for this peanut.
It's like $200 a week, and you're like, that equates to like $2 an hour. Like, no. So 100%, like, pay your social media people, because that takes forever. One person who's amazing at social media is Amelia Rose Rithaler. So like, my God, if I could afford her, if I had enough money that it wasn't an insult to hire her, I'd hire her for my promo. So that's one thing that surprised me, like how long just like making a post takes. And of course you get quicker. Okay. But one thing that surprised me, I know this is a personal one, but it really did. It surprised me how many of the obstacles I had in front of me, like, oh, but I don't know if I'm good enough. And, but I am this, I'm not that, are like completely fabricated in my head. Like that not only do I have control over, like you have control over changing that, but like, I think I created the thought. Yeah. I anticipated someone would think I was a piece of shit. And then I told myself, oh my God, they think you're a piece of shit. And then I told myself you're a piece of shit. And then I did that for 20 years. And then I think I'm a piece of shit. And it's like, oh, I have all of it. So that really surprised me that, first of all, that I had so many negative narratives I was telling myself. I didn't realize I negative self-talked this much, but when you edit yourself, you realize it. And how many of them are not rooted in any truth at all, that I actually just created it for myself, and that no one thinks that of me, that people like a lot of these guests are seeing me. I feel like I'm always hiding who I am because I want people to like me. So I'm trying to be what I think they want me to be. And then a lot of these guests who like literally know me from maybe one interaction or like seeing me perform have these ideas. They're like, someone called me a trailblazer. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or people think so much higher of you than you think of yourself. And these are people who like don't even know you that well. So anyway, I was surprised at that, of like how many things that I feel are holding me back that actually like not only are in my control, but I created to begin with.
Yeah.
That was a huge thing that I realized. I'm like, oh, okay. Interesting, therapist.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Great.
Cool.
Rad.
Right. Rod. That's a rad response.
That's a rad answer.
So, okay. This question has kind of changed.
I'm getting a little tipsy and I'm like, so take care of me extra.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
great.
drink more.
So drink more.
Oh, drink.
Every drink I take care of me even more. Because you know me, what I'm going to say,
yes.
what I want to say. Okay, great.
So tell me what you are.
Remember when you're like, I want to be a good host.
Oh.
Imagine I said that to any of my guests. Tell me, so what are you? Tell me what you are. Oh my God, I am sweating in this fake sheepskin. Okay.
So my question originally was, right now, where do you stand as being an actor or doing multiple things? We've answered this. So can you tell me what you are?
Like what my professional titles would be?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's such a fucking good question. Cause I ask everybody when in my intro, like I'm like, don't call people by what they want to be called. Okay. I am an actor. Now I'm a podcaster.
Yes,
okay.
you are.
Okay. Right?
You are.
I think after, I know it's 10,000 hours. I think after 100, you get to be a podcaster. Okay. So, and I have this imposter syndrome, like, well, season 1's over. Am I a podcaster?
Nope, you are.
But okay, I'm a podcaster. Okay. So we have a bonus episode. So I'm still a podcaster. Okay. Actor.
Yeah.
Podcaster.
Yes.
You know what? Fuck yeah. Writer, producer.
Yes, you are.
That's what I feel like I am. I also feel like actor. I feel like an actor, but I sort of feel like because so Dee and I both have like improv background and comedy and stuff. And I sort of feel like performer is a little more inclusive because like, I don't know why people don't think improviser with actor. So I think, performer. I don't know what the difference is between actor and performer. Now I'm going off on a tangent. So I'm going to say performer, producer, writer, podcaster. I'm also an actor. Hire me for an actor. I don't know what the difference is.
Beautiful.
Friend, caring human.
Okay, these are my fast questions that you ask at the end of people's interviews.
I love it. Okay, I'll be fast.
Makes me sad that we're at the end now, but here we are.
Oh.
Not the end of our friendship.
It's over after this.
It's over.
Did you hear that little bloop in my drink?
Finish your drink.
I think I'm more tipsy now than I have been on some of my episodes. I know, but it's also because like, it's so weird. Like I don't have to be in charge, but I still, in my head, I'm just I'm like, okay, does he think I'm answering too long? Like you still get this like, anyway. Okay. Move on. Quick answer. Sorry.
Fast question. Okay. You're watching the Golden Girls now.
Yes.
So funny. So
how did you know that? How did you know that?
You said it last with Ashley, I think.
Okay. Right.
Or maybe Sean.
Okay.
We're watching now too. And it's so funny because it's like, we just started watching it because I think we're on Prime recently.
Yes.
So we're in season 2. Who's your favorite?
Oh, who's my favorite? Oh, fuck. Probably Sophia.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Sophia's my favorite. Yeah. Who's
So,
your favorite?
I love Dorothy's fashion. I might do a fashion line just on Dorothy's fashion.
Will you make me something finally?
Look at the shirt you're wearing right now.
You didn't make this. This is just you. Do you hate my body?
How about I just make you a whole clothing line of just my face?
I would die.
Okay.
Like all of this pattern or all different pictures of you?
No, that pattern, different outfits. Or maybe different pictures.
Gee, that's all I would wear. Yes. Okay.
Faux fur of my face. Anyways.
I could like shave your face in certain spots.
I love that.
Okay.
Anyways, Sophia, yes, probably my favorite.
Love it. Sophia, my favorite.
So, second fast question.
Okay, love it. I will be fast. I promise. No, I'll be better. I'll be better for you. Okay.
You finish here with me. You step outside and you find a lottery ticket and you end up winning $10 million. What do you do?
Right away, $5 million goes to charity. I would buy a place because like I don't fucking need $10 million. I buy a place with my partner. I pay off our parents' houses. I put it into the arts community too, like probably make the theaters like accessible, even though we don't really need that right now. And I buy one of those like matching sweatsuits, like leisure wear. Like I'd really love a matching. Could you make me one of those with your face on it? Okay, great. Matching leisure wear outfit.
Only if it's you and Robden.
Okay, great. Just everyone I love. Could you make one of like Ronton, one of you, like
No,
just
I'm saying
all these people?
I'm making my face on for a matching sweatsuit for everyone you love.
Oh, I love that. Like we all have your face. Okay, fabulous. So I would pay you to do that. I would like pay to like invest. Like if you wanted to do a show, I'd be like, okay, great. Here's money to do that show. Like I pay to do that. Oh, I buy Rompton like his favorite car. I would invest some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because like we're talking here, I should probably also say like maybe put some money aside to pay people to help me with season 2. But I feel like I could do it if I needed to.
$1 million, and you're like, I could still do this.
I can still do this podcast. And I, oh God. And like, if there's,
this is the first thing that you do.
Oh, I thought it was what do I do with all the money?
Well, I think maybe I said, what would you do?
You know what? I'm so glad because like, I don't know all the things I do, but like
I hate this question. What's the first thing that you do?
Okay. But like, those are some things I do.
Okay.
For sure.
Third question.
Also, like maybe I buy something that's like not on sale.
Oh, I love that. Not on Black Friday. You're like, it's a Black Friday deal, but can I pay the full price right now?
Yeah. I go to like independent businesses and I pay extra. Like I'm like, oh, this is $20. Here's $40.
Yeah. What independent?
I don't know, but like local businesses.
Right.
That I really
only
love what
$20
they stand for. You know what I do too? I like ask my artist friends, like what's a project you've wanted to do that like money's holding you back, and then I become like a funding body.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what I should also say? I help to fund the show that I've been trying to make for like 8 years. I put money towards that too. I feel like
also,
I should do that
like
too.
you've already donated $5 million. That should cover.
Yeah, but you know what? With donation, like $5 million doesn't really go that far. Like I should probably be donating like 8. You know what I mean? Maybe we defund police. If we could defund police for $5 million, we do that. And Corona. Oh my God. Do you know what I also do? I pay so that all the people who haven't been following Corona rules get to go live on like a very fun island. Like they're not being punished, but they all get to live together because those are their values. Like oh my God, they go to a Love Island and it's a fabulous island, but also like those are their values. So that'll be the same. And all the Trump supporters
reality TV show and you make money out of the reality TV show.
Oh my God. Okay. So all the people who aren't following COVID and all the Trump supporters go to this island. There's an island called Disappointment Island I saw on TikTok. So they go to Disappointment Island, but I hope it's wonderful. Like I want a great life for all of them. And they go and they have everything that they've ever wanted there, except for like, they're not living with people who are staying inside, but like whatever. And they go there and they have a lovely life. And then all the people who have been following it can like feel a little safer and like less being punished for other people's selfish decisions. And then maybe there's a reality show, maybe they could be paid for it, but like we could be paid for being good. And also I would pay for every single like retirement facility.
Have a drink.
I would pour funding in there because like I don't understand why we don't value that more. That would be really funded. Okay.
You said the magic word. It was a retirement funding.
Oh, and you know what else? All of the areas that are like designated as like all of these, like, you know how some areas are designated as, oh, this isn't a great place to live, but it's because of like just such fucking a history of systemic oppression and racism. I don't know if this works logistically, but if this works, I would buy all those houses for so high above market value. If that would make it so like more funding would go into those areas, like into the schools and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be a hard thing.
I feel like I have to ask Rompton because
that's called
something?
Gentrification.
No, but I wouldn't like move in like a Walmart there. I would just like is that? I just want, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to work on that.
Okay, work on that million.
That was the longest answer. I'm so sorry. I can't win the lottery. I'll panic. Okay.
This question you can literally answer one word per question. I don't think you will, but.
I'm a fucking nightmare, aren't I? Am I a nightmare to interview?
No, I love it. Honestly, okay, so crop this out, but you know how I'm obsessed with.
But should I crop it out?
But you know how I'm obsessed with you.
You are?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. My face matches your shirt, and it's because I'm so sweaty.
Yeah.
You are? That's so nice. But like, is it in a healthy way?
We don't know yet.
Do I have to crop that out, or can I keep it in?
Yeah, keep it in. Okay.
I needed people to see verbal consent.
Yeah.
Will you give me that shirt when you don't want it anymore? Okay, sorry.
No. What?
Come on, you probably
Actually, I'll give this to you.
No, I said when you don't want it anymore.
No, I'll give it to you right now.
No, when you don't want it anymore. That's like a TikTok transition. Okay, people can't see us. Ask your question.
What book are you reading? What podcast are you listening to? What show are you watching? One fucking word, Amanda.
Fuck you, because I ask people this. Okay. Book I'm reading. I'm reading So You Want to Talk About Race.
Okay.
What was the second one? I'm so sorry.
Podcast you're listening to?
Podcast I'm listening to. Currently, I'm listening to Armchair Expert, the episode with Jewel.
Okay.
I just started today. What was the third one? I'm so sorry.
Show you were watching.
Show I'm watching. I'm watching Southern Charm, but like, what else am I watching? Romton and I just started The Queen's Gambit, and we just finished Rami, which is on Crave, which everyone really needs to watch. I just burped. I also just finished The Home Edit, which I'm very sad is over. I'm also currently watching Real Housewives of Orange County, Palm Springs, and Potomac.
Yeah.
Always The Office. Always The Office. Oh, and Golden Girls. I'm watching Golden Girls. I'm on season 3. I watch before bed with Bella.
Oh,
my dog.
good for you.
Yeah. Well, I knit. Okay, great.
What's the last gift you gave someone?
What month is it? It's November. Whose birthday? Oh my God, the last gift I gave someone. D, that's such a good question. Whose birthday was it the most recent? My brother. What did I get him? Oh no, I forget. Did I get Romton anything? Oh my God. This voice is so ugly. D, I can't remember. Something to do with Nintendo Switch for my brother, I think. And like, I buy Romton chocolate frequently. Can I check my Amazon? Well, he likes, the dark chocolate without milk. So he likes like 85%.
Yes.
So I'll buy him that. I bought my friend Stephanie a bag of chips that I wiped with Lysol and left at her apartment door. I did that.
Okay.
That's a gift. She loves chips. Honestly,
chips.
That's better than like a diamond for her.
Buffy and chips. She's going to feel so seen.
Good. It's so nice to make people feel seen, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
I see you.
I really want the piercing that you have. What's this called? A septum?
Yeah.
See, but my doctor wants me to get a septoplasty, and I don't know if I should get that piercing while I'm getting. Did I tell you when I got a COVID test, like back in June when I had a sore throat? It was nothing. It was negative. I was just stressed. That they asked me like, oh, like, why haven't you ever gotten a nose job?
Really?
Yeah, because I warned them, like, because you have your mask on, they can't see your nose. And I said, I just want to warn you, I have a really deviated septum. It might be hard to get that Q-tip up there. I was small talking out of panic.
All the coke you've done.
No, you can't say that. People don't know me.
No, I know.
You know what's funny? I was talking to my mom today, and we were trying to remember how you do crack cocaine.
Pipe, I think.
Yeah, but I think you can also like light it underneath a spoon and you can sniff it, I think. Because on intervention.
So we were just talking about the 10
Were
million.
we?
No,
were we just?
We were just talking about the show you were watching.
Right.
I love that.
Yes. Did you write I love that? You didn't know what show I would say.
Sorry. We were just talking about the last gift you gave. I love that. COVID's done. So COVID's done.
Yeah.
The first thing you're going to do is blank.
Oh, like COVID's gone and we know for sure nobody is at risk.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to hug people. I'm going to cry. I am going, this isn't going to make sense to everybody, but I'm going to hug Amelia and Aria and Emra and Nora. I'm going to hug the babies in my life that I am missing growing up and missing like building an in-person relationship with. Emra and Nora are twins and they are 6 months old. And Amelia and Aria are toddlers that I call them all my nieces. I don't think none of them are technically my nieces. I will hug these 4 little girls that I call my nieces. And I will also, like any moms that I know, I will literally, once this COVID is done, and I'm not kidding, I will carve out like 2 weeks where I just prepare that like all the moms I know who fucking wants babysitting? And I will just go and spend all the time. Those 4 girls get priority. They will get like, if those moms want like a week, they get 7 days between them or whatever. But like any moms I know, I'm like, who wants some safe, I will love and
Can you
cuddle with
babysit
your
Ollie and Eddie for me?
your partner and your dog? Yes. I will finally become, air quotes, friends with your partner.
Ugh,
that's an inside annoying joke.
Okay.
But that's what I'll do. And you know what else I'll do? I'll hug my dad. I haven't been able to hug my dad since, I'm going to cry if I think, I haven't been able to hug my dad or my stepmom since before March. And so I will probably go to their house for like a weekend and just hug them. Hug. And I have told my friend Steph that as soon as everything is safe, I will have like a 48-hour hangout with her.
You're going to piss on those chips.
I am going to. I told her like, and she doesn't like hugs and stuff. I am probably like you and Steph, like my close friend. I'm probably just going to hug the fuck out of them. And also, can I also say this? I know this is the quick questions. Here's the other thing. I just really want to say, I think people who aren't following the rules right now, I totally get, I don't want to make this a huge thing, but like, you're going to roll your eyes at me. I totally understand that times are really hard and everybody deals with, this is legitimately survival. Everybody deals with this in a different way. But also I think when all of this is over, at least for me, I don't want to talk for anyone else. It's really important to me to be able to look back and be like, how did you show up when the world needed you to show up? What did you choose to do? What did you choose to sacrifice? How did you choose to sacrifice? And there are some things people can't sacrifice and I can't, and everybody has their own boundaries and their own mental health. But when the world was on fire, how did you show up to put that out? And that really makes it so I can look in the mirror and you can really view yourself as like someone through integrity. And so there are a lot of people that I think once COVID is over, it's going to be hard for other people to see them the same way afterwards. I don't know why you thought quick questions and then you put COVID in one of the questions, D. Sorry. I'm going to drink more rosé. Don't say sorry. I love you so much. You're so thoughtful.
This is my last question.
No, it's so weird. Okay, great. Let's do it. It's going to be a nightmare to edit this. I'm just kidding.
When's the last time?
Shut up. I know what you're going to ask because I asked this. When's the last time I felt personally victorious?
Well, you don't say that at all.
Okay, great.
I've listened to so many episodes. You don't say victorious.
I say, when was the last time you felt victorious?
Felt proud? No, you say felt proud or accomplished in not your career. And also, can I say?
Yeah.
I said victorious, but proud, accomplished, or proud of victorious.
What were you going to say?
I want to say that for any human watching, specifically any little girl or any little non-binary person. They should be someone that they're looking up to.
What?
And I think you're a beautiful example of honesty and truthful living. And
God, you're gonna make me cry. Shut up.
And when I say like I'm being a fan of you for many years, it's true. And then we've had our ups and downs, mostly because of you. And
because I've been a jerk.
And no, but you're always gonna be a person that I root for and faux fur. You're always a person that I faux fur and
faux fur root for.
And like this girl, if you're listening to me, this is the world ending right now. No, if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, who should I hire? Hire this girl. Right here, this baby girl. I don't know, girl's not a thing. This woman, hire this woman because she is so fucking precise and exceptional to an annoying point that you will not be disappointed. I know success has been tribulating. Is that a word, tribulating?
I don't know, but I bought it.
Yeah, thank you.
I know trepidatious is a word.
Trepidatious.
So like that.
Trepidatious thing for her. But don't let that define her, because she's more than her self-consciousness and more than how she perceives herself. She's so much more than that. And I know that she's learning to perceive herself in a more beautiful way. And I think she's fucking 10 times more than that. So fucking hire her for producing, editing, acting. Please hire her for acting. I've been trying to hire her for years. Singing, she's a beautiful singer. Anything. her spreadsheets are amazing.
Those are amazing. I have confidence in my spreadsheets.
You won't be disappointed in this girl, and she might not have this, but I don't fucking care.
She might edit this out, but I don't fucking care.
Because she deserves it. This woman deserves everything. Also, I hope she only works with me.
But also don't hire her because I want her to be available. Holy fuck. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
But when's the last time you felt proud?
Right fucking now? Oh my God.
No,
oh my
not in your career.
God.
This is
Right,
your
career. Thank you. This is my career. You know, in Drag Race at the end, when they ask contestants to say something, I felt like you were talking to the little Amanda. That was such a fucking gift. And you know what? I am like the part of me that knows that I get like insecure and negative self-talk is like so happy I have a recording of that to just be like, I'm going to force myself to watch that and remind myself. And I have to consistently tell myself it can't be imposter syndrome because Dee knows, like, you know me. So
I should have done naked.
Yeah, but you can't really see very much. My laugh is so loud for the microphone.
Shut
Yours
up.
is
See, you're doing it.
so wheezy. I know, it's fine. I was going to say yours is going to be so fun to edit because it's like, it's grandpa. Okay, when was the last? Oh my God, that was so wonderfully complimentary and like loving that I don't even know how to respond to it. That I'm probably gonna edit it and digest it and then text you a voice note of me crying. Although you don't have an iPhone now, so I can't. I'll Marco Polo you. Can't even talk. Marco Polo you. Oh my God. Okay, when was the last time that I felt proud or accomplished personally? Oh, that's such a good fucking question.
You ask it.
I know. I ask it every time because I want an answer. Okay, you know what I've been really fucking proud of is I am like demanding of myself like a work-life balance. And I never thought I deserved that as an artist. I thought like if you don't work on your career every second of the day, then in 10 years, if you're not where you want to be, then you're at fault for it. You're to blame. And lately I'm like, no. Like you're going to do whatever work you're going to do during the day. And then in the evening, every day I'm kind of like, this is when you're having dinner. And afterwards, you're going to knit and hang out with your pug, or you're going to play Nintendo Switch, or you're going to like Zoom a friend. I'm seeing that I deserve time that isn't stereotypically productive. And I never thought that I deserved time that wasn't productive unless I was like completely fulfilled in my career. And I'm also just learning like, as artists, which is so beautiful, I'm touching my mouth while I'm talking. That's so annoying. As artists, you always have a goal. And when you're reaching that goal, you have a new one, and that's natural. But with that, it's very easy to never feel like you're accomplishing anything because you never feel like you have reached your goal because your goal is just extending. You have to see that. If when I was 10 years old, if I knew I was going to be sitting here with like one of my closest friends with a shirt that has his face all over it and a fake sheepskin with turquoise fucking sea breeze eyeshadow reflecting on 30 episodes of a podcast that I made, I'd be like, fuck, I'm so cool. But as a 30-year-old right now, all you see is all the things you're not doing and all whatever. So I'm learning that like I deserve to just do shit that has no purpose. And the nice little caveat of it, if I'm ever anxious about it, is like later it'll be great fodder in a script. So like shut up and do the thing,
also,
knit something that you're never going to use.
Like it always has purpose. Like I think one thing I've learned from your thing, like everything has purpose. Everything is added to something.
Yeah. Yeah, even if it's just your rest, like your energy level, like even 100%, like even if it's not.
We can't control. We can't control. We don't write this narrative for us. So it's already written, as in I don't necessarily believe that, but like it's already like it's happening as it's happening. So we can never go back. We can never rewrite that section to make the outcome different. So we can only accept the outcome and go forward. And I think it's how we accept the outcome is how we move forward. So I think as humans, we must learn to accept the outcome as something to learn from and something to cherish and something that was, because I think we reflect on the past as so much as like what we wish that wasn't, but it happened.
Yeah. And you can't change it. Like you can't, my therapist said the other day, which was so interesting, that so often like you get in repetitive patterns because you're trying to outplay something from the past, but have a different result. somebody as a kid was dismissive. And so you're like attracted to a person that's like them so that hopefully this time they accept you.
Yes.
Hopefully this time. And I'm realizing like, I'm sort of doing that with myself. Like, I'm sort of just like, oh, you thought you were a piece of shit. So maybe this time you won't think you're a piece of shit. Maybe this time. And I'm
You
realizing
put yourself
like,
in situations where it's impossible to do that.
100%, where it's impossible to feel successful or impossible to not feel like a failure because I set the expectation so high. Of course I'm going to fail. And then I'm going to tell myself I'm a failure again. And so it's realizing like, oh, I'm just going to stop the pattern. And also realizing that like these outcomes, like nothing is ever ending. Like it's just all a part, this sounds wanky again, but like it's all a part of the journey. Like, yes, this is the end of like a season 1, but years from now, maybe this is just the middle of 10 seasons. Do you know what I mean? Like you to just have that piece of perspective as well, and not to be living in trying to fix the past, but just like being, and also not trying to like prepare for the future so much. Like I'm constantly living in shame and regret of the past and anxiety of the future. And it's like, why don't we just live in the joy of right now? Like, and I honestly, the gift of these, like, you know, let's say 40 hours of when I was like recording in the moment, I think the people pleaser actually helped me, like that tendency in me, because I was like, these people deserve for me to be present. But really a small survival part of me was like, you also deserve to be present in this moment. And these were like 40 hours where I was nothing but present. Like, yes, I might've been looking at my notes, whatever, but I was in these conversations, and that is a fucking gift to be in the moment.
Are you living in the moment
right now? I thought you sneezed. A question. Okay.
Are you in the moment right now?
100%.
Are you happy in the moment right now?
Yes. And you know what makes me happy is I know I'm editing this, so I don't have to worry about what I'm saying. But this is the thing, that's the safety net. And then I end up not cutting anything. Of course, except if like you want me to, or guests want me to, but I'm like slowly really coming into a place where the happiness, like Ashley was like, are you happy in your life now? Like she asked me that, are you happy with your life right now? Yeah. And in the editing, I heard how long I paused. And I really thought about that. And I knew that the honest truth was there are areas of my life that I'm not happy with. And not in the sense like I'm not where I want to be.
Season 2, baby.
Season 2, baby. But it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm not in the place I want to be in my career, or I'm not happy in like, I don't have, like, it's not the material things. I really have to come to terms that there are areas in my life that I am avoiding, or I'm not changing because I'm afraid of what the response will be from people I love or whatever. And what's nice is like the areas of my life that I'm not happy with are in my control to change. And I just have to know that like I can change them, and it's going to be so much more freeing afterwards when I change them. It's just scary to change, but like you can just do it and it feels better. So yeah, I'm so present right now. And that is also because I feel safe with you. And I'm, you know, that's a huge thing. And I'm editing this. So like, I know later when I listen back, I'm like, Jesus, you drank too much rosé champagne. But yeah, do you feel happy and present right now? You can't nod. The listeners can't hear you.
Yes, I do. Nod.
Nod.
But this podcast is not about me. It's about you. And yeah.
It's hard to make things about you. I think I did it sneakily, indirectly. Like I got to learn in a safe way. I got to make it about selfish. Other people. Well, it was all for me. No, I'm very excited for season 2. I mean, here's the other thing is I already have like season 2 will not be 30 episodes. That's the other thing for sure. It doesn't need to be, you know, it can be a normal amount of episodes.
A normal amount of hours.
A regular
for
amount
someone
of
to listen to.
It can be a regular, it doesn't have to be 100 hours of editing. But yeah, I mean,
how do you say goodbye?
At the end of a podcast? That's such a good question. I usually just like thank them so much, and then I just allow it naturally to talk. And then when I edit it, I find like a fun point.
So Amanda, I thank you so much.
The thoughtfulness that you put into this, and the care and like the like how much you made it a priority because you know it's one of my priorities. Like that's all I can ask for from a friend. And that's, so thank you. I really appreciate that, like more than I can express. So thank you. Oh, I guess that's how I end an episode. I don't know. Hi,
Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's bonus episode of the Liquid Courage podcast. Whether you are watching the episode on YouTube or listening wherever you get your podcasts, I really appreciate the support. And I can't wait to get started on season 2. For any updates and for access to fun bonus content, follow the podcast on Instagram at Liquid Courage Podcast and on Twitter at Liquid C Podcast. And you can find me on Instagram at Hot Cold Spicy. The world can feel pretty scary and uncertain right now, and being able to connect with these inspiring people each week in a safe, responsible, virtual way has really helped me feel connected and sane. In a surprising way, this podcast turned out to be such a huge source of support for me, so I hope in listening you feel a little less alone and a little more connected as well. Thanks again for listening. It means the world to me. Stay safe and take care. And see you for season 2.